Help. Need somebody help. Not just anybody help. I need someone. Oh my God. This week, for the last 2 weeks, I've been in a crisis, an attention crisis. So go back a couple of episodes, talked about a digital detox, taking a couple of days off. I did that. I come back, straightened up the business, recorded a podcast. And wow, all I've done for the last 2 weeks, if I'm honest, is worry about my health. I've worried about my physical health. It's led to a deterioration in my mental health, anxiety, and then, of course, I'm stressed out because I'm going to be a little bit behind with the business. And by taking a step back from the business, I've also realised that I've got some fundamental problems with the company. So, of course, we've got a revolving door of customers, replacing customers every month because people are leaving because they're going bankrupt or they no longer need a website because they've failed in business. And, of course, you gain 4 customers, but you lose 2. So, it's hard. And then, of course, you're over-servicing customers, definitely. There's no limited company that I've set up, no contracts in place. They're not paying into a limited company bank account. I've not created a saleable business. This is something that I've done, rushed into. Yeah, get me paid, let's go. I mean, it's all above board. I'm self-employed. I'm, pay tax on everything. But the point is, if I'd have got everybody paying into a limited company bank account, this would have been a saleable business at the moment, worth about £100,000. Times in the revenue and net profits by 5. So yeah, there's no automation within the business either. So I've got to invoice everybody, follow up and check if they've paid me every month, which is becoming a pain. There's limited scale. We've already talked about replacing customers and the revolving door of customers. And of course, I feel as though I've just created myself a new rat race. I'm earning more than I ever have in my life, but not by very much. So I used to earn £1,600 when I was working 35 hours a week, and now I'm earning £2,000. But I'm working 50, 60, 70 hours a week for 15 months to create a business. Now, you can either work 12 hours every single day or 14 hours every single day for a £30,000 a year wage, for a £100,000 a year wage, for £1 million a year wage, for £5 million a year wage. So people build businesses within a couple of years that they sell off for millions of pounds. What am I doing? This is the point at the moment. I'm in an attention crisis because I've took a step back from the business. All I've done for 14 months is work. Took a step back from the business, opened a podcast. All I did for a full month was record a podcast every single day. And then I took a step back from them both, done a digital detox. That was great. I've come back to my flat. What now? Now I'm overwhelmed with everything. Now I'm thinking about the business in a new way. I'm thinking that, this is not going to serve me over the next 10 years. I need to change this company. I need to figure out what I can do next. So you can't operate on the same principles of when you first started your business, because then you had 0 customers. And obviously a customer meant a lot more to you. You've got the website as an asset. You're building a portfolio. I've done all that now. I don't need to offer no setup fee £30 a month websites anymore. That is an outdated model. Of course, let's carry on with a £30 per month website, but let's introduce a setup fee. It's going to be £400 to design your site, and do you know what? That's worth it because I put a lot of time into it. And if you don't pay me that, then I don't feel like I should put a lot of time into it, so you're going to lose out. So I've took a step back, and I've realised there's some steps I need to take in order to get a better frame of reference on my business and where I am at the moment in life. Because laser focusing on your one goal, £30 a month, 100 people, right, that's good to achieve an aim, but I've got that now. I've got 102 people that I've made a website for. 30 of those people have left me. So I'm stuck with a £2,000 a month business, but I'm servicing 70 people every month, which is enough. That's enough. I can't take this to, let's say, 300 people. And I know people will say, oh, but then you can hire somebody, this and that. Listen, if I hire somebody at £1,500 a month, I've got to sell 50 websites just to cover his wage on a monthly basis. It's just not worth it. So I got to sell 50 websites and then manage them on a monthly basis just to cover one member of staff. So I've not created a scalable business. From the outside looking in, it looks like, oh, you could do this, you could do that. No, mate. I'm stuck a little bit here at the moment with this business model. Of course, it's better than the one that I had previously, and it's an evolution of what I did before. But am I stuck? Have I not looked for new opportunities? And when I first started this business, Prospect 27, I said to people, look, am I insane? I've just failed with a website design company a year ago, and now I'm wanting to go and do the same thing. And they were like, oh, well, no, it's different. You're setting it up residual. Of course, yeah, that's what I've told you. But is it different? Because I've been making websites now for 10 years, and I don't feel like I get any better at making the website, so I'm learning anything, or I can do anything new. So I'm a little bit stuck. And when you look at website design, is it a hyper-growth company? Is it something that I can really grow to millions and millions of pounds? And if you're not looking to do that, how are you going to have fuel and energy every day to work towards a goal? I had more fuel last year in one day than I feel in a full week now, because I've already achieved what I wanted to achieve. So I'm not working towards anything anymore. I'm already comfortable. But when I had nothing, when I was working towards a goal, I felt energized every day. So I've had to take a real step back. And I must admit, I'm in an attention crisis. I've exposed myself to that much information over the last month to create a podcast every single day. We're talking about the attention economy. We're talking about new paradigms and new ways of working, and the fiat currency that we're in at the moment that is deteriorating. The last point you get to in a society is where the government starts printing its own money, issuing its own currency, and then they go through several, short-term debt cycles, which we've already been through from the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, and the dot-com boom and the dot-com bust and the 2008, and now they're at the last point where the 0% interest rates are printing money and giving it away, devaluing the currency of the British pound, let's just say, because they've got £1 trillion of debt. So to devalue the currency is good for them. If we get inflation or even hyperinflation due to this, that is good for them because they owe £1 trillion. So if that £1 trillion becomes worth less, it's basically the last form of austerity that they've got before the fiat currency crashes to zero. And this is from Ray Dalio's principles. It's not from, any conspiracy theorist or all this. We've got the financial markets, which are booming at the moment because they've printed a load of money and everybody don't know what to do with it. So cryptos are booming, stocks are booming, even real estate is booming. But then you've got the real economy that pays back all that debt, that pays back all that cash that's been printed, that is going to service the cash. But the real economy has been shut down for 15 months and it doesn't look like it's going to suddenly pop back up and everybody's going to start, the real economy didn't exist anyway, did it? Because we don't produce anything. All we do is service each other. Let's not forget the fundamentals of our economy. What is it? We're in a service economy and it's not even that at the moment because everything's closed. So we're in the attention economy. Economics is a study of what is scarce in society, how a society uses its scarce resources. If information is in abundance, attention is scarce. And you expose yourself to all this stuff and it's like, yeah, I'm in an attention crisis, definitely. Because, yeah, fair dues, I've got this business, I've got to maintain it, I've got responsibilities to my customers. But when you take a step back from the world and you look at stuff and you think about where you are, I'm a month away, from death, most of the time. I make enough to pay the bills, that's it. So I need to start thinking, right, I've got this now, foundation. You might be in the same place. You've got a little bit of a foundation, you've got a job, you've got a business, you've got enough to pay the bills, but you're laser focused in on one little particular goal, for me, website design or podcasting, but you're not seeing the wider opportunities. You're not looking at the opportunity cost, which is a term in microeconomics, which refers to if I pursue one opportunity, what am I losing out for not pursuing a different opportunity? So if I go all in to get 100 people paying me £30 a month for a website, what opportunities have I missed out on over the last year that I could have been working towards? Maybe £1 million idea or £1 billion idea rather than a £30,000 a year idea, which is all I've got at the moment. I can't go much of a 30, 40, 50 grand. I'll be overwhelmed with customers. And then, yeah, perhaps I can hire somebody, this and that. But then I've got to manage that person. It's not a case of, I hire somebody and you go off and you live your life and no, I can't hire myself. So you're really going to trust somebody just to run your business while you go, spend your £20,000 a year and pay them 20 grand a year to run it? No, that's not how business works. It isn't a fairy tale. If you've never been in business before, that's what you're going to tell me. Or you can hire somebody to run it for you, this and that. Oh, can I, mate? Why don't you build a business and hire somebody to run it for you then? And go and live a life of freedom. You can't do that. That don't exist. So What you need to do is take a step back and look at your strategy. Right, you've got a job, you've got a position at the moment that is maintaining you, but what about the long term? How are you going to feel about this in 10 years? So I read a good book by Dan and Chip Heath called Decisive. It talks about the problems we face when we make a decision. Anybody, if you're a CEO, director, or you're unemployed and you're just starting your career, you're 19-year-old, it doesn't matter. We all suffer from these same problems when we encounter a choice. So that's the first thing we do, isn't it? Encounter a choice. And then we suffer from what's called narrow framing, which is we'll give ourselves two options, basically. It's either X or Y. It's podcasting or website design. Whatever your options are, it's job A or job B. And then you analyse the options, but you suffer from confirmation bias. So rather than going out and getting information objectively that makes you make a more informed decision, you'll go out into the world and what you see is what you get. Your perception is life. So if you believe that website design is the way forward and you've got that in your mind already, but you think that you're considering other options, really you're not. You're going to go out there, you're going to reinforce your beliefs that you've already got. And confirmation bias is just that. It's finding facts and information to support your pre-existing beliefs and ideas. And then we make a choice. We suffer from short-term emotion when we make that choice, and we make the choice quite often on how it's going to impact us immediately rather than looking at the implications over the long term. And then number 4, we live with our choice. And the problem we've got with this is quite often we're overconfident that the right choice was made. So we encounter the choice, suffer narrow framing. We analyse the two options that we give ourselves from that narrow frame, but we suffer from confirmation bias, which means we go out there and we find facts and information that support our pre-existing beliefs. And then we make a choice, often based on short-term emotion and how we feel in the moment. And we live with that choice, overconfident that that was the right choice and that we've not missed out because we didn't pursue the other goal. So how do they say in this book, Decisive, that you can get past this, that you can, what techniques can you use? So first off, when you encounter the choice, rather than, narrowly framing your choices, you got to widen your options. Ask yourself, if I could not do podcasting, if I couldn't do website design, if these options weren't in front of me, what else would I do? And quite often, when you're forced to do that is when you'll start looking at your principles in life and really what you want out of life. And when you're analysing those options then, rather than going all in, right, I'm going to get 100 people to pay me £30 a month, this is all that I want. Okay, mate. First off, reality test your assumptions. If you want 100 people paying you £30 a month for a website, or you want something in life, you want a particular job, or you feel like you want to run a business, find a mentor who's already in that position. Ask him about the pitfalls and the downfalls and the commitment that's required. And really think about stuff over the long term. Reality test your assumptions. And then when you're making the choice and you're going to suffer from the short-term emotion that's going to lead you to, make a bad choice, you need to attain distance. Because through mere exposure, there's what's called exposure bias. And then you've got recency bias, you've got confirmation bias, which we've already discussed. And then you've got loss aversion, which means that we set ourselves up to prevent losses much more than we would to take risks to get a win. Just naturally, we're going to prevent the loss. And there's lots of different experiments that, demonstrate this. So when you're suffering from these things, you're going to make a bad decision. So you need to attain some distance before you make that decision. How do you do that? You do the 10/10/10 rule. How will I feel about this decision in 10 days? How will I feel about it in 10 months? And how will I feel about it in 10 years? Right, if I continue selling £30 a month websites, how's it going to make me feel in 10 days? Well, I'm already stressed out now. So I'll probably be even more stressed out in 10 days. What about in 10 months? I will definitely be stressed in 10 months if all I'm doing is the same thing as I've been doing for the last 2 years, the same business, the same strategy. And in 10 years' time, I'm going to look back at this and I'm going to think, wow, you missed out because you didn't evolve, because you didn't use your skills, because you didn't commit yourself to something wider and a bigger purpose and £1 million idea. You committed to a £30,000 a year idea, Carl. What more could you expect than £30,000 a year? This is what you aim for, and this is what you've got. So now you even live with it and you accept the fact that you've got to do more work than you ever have in your life for 30 grand a year, or you take a step back and you commit to something new. We have got to live with his choice, haven't we? And that's the last one. Often we're overconfident that the right choice was made. I am not overconfident that I made the right choice coming into this business. I'm very confident that it were a good choice because at the end of the day, I've evolved as a person. I wouldn't be thinking on this level and open this podcast and speaking into this mic and have this much business acumen and experience in business if I wouldn't have tried the second time and succeeded at least to the point where I am now. I am earning more money than I ever have, but I've realised that I'm working more and harder and it's more stressful than I've ever been, which is the flip side of the coin. That is the flip side of the coin. So don't be overconfident that the right decision was made, but be confident in your decision and accept the fact that you've got to be prepared to be wrong. This is what they say in the book. But my point is, you've got to live with your experience and you've got to think about how that's benefited you. How has the last year benefited me, even though I've been selling £30 a month websites? Well, I've created myself a life. I am earning money. I have got my own schedule. I need to be grateful for that. I fully appreciate that. But you don't get into business to spend 40 hours a week slaving away to earn the same as going to work for 35 hours a week for somebody else. That is not why you get into business. So if you are doing that at the moment, you need to take a step back and get a new strategy and recommit to something else, to something new. So I am going to start taking a setup fee for the websites that I create, and then it's going to be worth it for me to sell those websites. I am going to take a real step back, have another detox, have some more time off, stop stressing out over these customers. Because at the end of the day, if you want your website creating, you're going to have to wait for me. Because if my well-being is not right, I can't service anybody. If I die tomorrow due to stress, it don't matter about your website anymore, does it? I'm not going to be able to hand it to you. You're going to even have access to it. So if I have got customers that can't wait or they're not, they don't want to deal with this, go to another big company who is not going to care about you, but if one of the employees dies or they're stressed out, you're not going to suffer either. So I need to put myself first so my customers don't suffer in the end. So I'm putting my customers first by putting myself first because I am Prospect 27. It's not a big business that, has got other people that can come and step in. This is just me. I've got to be accountable for these 100 people that I service on a monthly basis. I've got to be accountable for these people who come in at me and they want new features and new additions to the website or new websites creating. Or they send me an email one day and they're emailing me 3 hours later why I've not got back to them. It's like, okay, I'm a one-man band. I run a business. I'm a bit busy at the moment. Let me take a step back because when you're this stressed out, you can't focus anyway. So I might have 3 websites to do, but I'm going to sit here all day and all I'm going to do is worry about my health, stressed, all your shoulders tense, all your jaw tense, all your chest tight, can't breathe. Makes you even panic even more because you can't take a breath. And then that's it. It's a revolving door of panic attacks. Not the revolving door of customers anymore. It's a revolving door of panic attacks all day. You just sat there thinking about it. Oh my God, it's coming again. You can't take a breath. So I definitely can't do your work. So attention crisis, it's very hard for us at the moment. I get it. I'm in Leeds. I'm on my own. We're in a lockdown. Or we're just coming out of the lockdown. There's a lot of stuff going off. And we've had an hard year, haven't we? I need to get back to the gym. I need to get back to some form of normality. And I'm just... it's inertia at the moment. It's inertia, which is, you just do not want to make a decision. You just do not want to do anything. They call it inertia. That's what I'm suffering from. So what do you want to do? Do you want to work 40 hours a week for £2,000 a month? Do you want to work 40 hours a week to build a company that may be worth £1 million? Do you want to work 40 hours a week and commit yourself to something that may be worth £1 billion? I don't know what I want at the moment, but what I know is I need to take a real step back. Not 2 days detox. I need 2 months, 2 years to sit back and study, think about who I am, think about the world, think about the attention economy and really build a business that is going to serve me over 20 years, not over 20 months. Because when you're only setting 1 year aims and all this, and once I've got 100 customers paying me £30 a month, I'll be okay. No, you won't be okay, mate, because you need goals to work towards every day. You need to be energized. You need to have a reason to get up on a morning, not just residual income from my customers and I've got a business to maintain. No, not that. You need to be working towards something greater, something bigger, something that's going to allow you to evolve as a person. So thanks a lot for your time. And I think ending on that, that's going to allow you to evolve as a person. When you stop growing, when you stop learning, when you stop developing, inevitably, your mind just goes to absolute garbage. Particularly for a man. You become a nobody. I feel as though I run a business at the moment and I've got more money than I've ever earned in my life, but I seriously feel worse than when I were unemployed. Why is that? Why did I feel like I need to get 100 people pay me £30 a month to have some validation in the world, to have some value in the world? Why were I working towards this at the exclusion of everything else in my life? My partner, my family, anything, health, good diet, exercise. Why were it all in? Why were it, right, if I get 100 people pay me £30 a month, that's going to sort my life out? No, it's not. What you need, mate, is a grounded life. And what you need also is something big to work towards every day. It's not £3,000 a month. That's not it. It's not even money. It's nothing to do with money. This is nothing to do with money. When I say I want £1 million idea or £1 billion idea, guess what? If you're working towards something that's worth £1 billion, you're going to impact the world. There's not any billionaire that isn't impacting the world in a massive way. So what you earn is just equivalent to how much you're impacting the world. And I can only do shallow work for £30 a month. I'm not going to commit to any more than 1 hour a month for you because it's not worth it for me economically. So until somebody starts paying me $2,000, $3,000 a month, I'm not going to be doing the deep work that I feel as though I can do for companies. But how do I get somebody to pay me that from a £30 a month package to $3,000 a month? Well, I need to take 2 years out to go and do a master's degree in digital marketing, to study content creation, to create this podcast, to show that I can do this, become a content creator, study the attention economy. So let's get back to it. Let's get a big aim, reassess where you are, get some distance first, go and take a couple of days off. Imagine that you don't even have this business, that you've not got in the situation that you are at the moment, that you do not have the job that you're in, anything. Just detach yourself completely from your life and look at yourself as though you were your best friend. What will you tell your best friend? It's great that you built a business, but you seem stressed out at the moment. It doesn't seem to actually be working for you. Are you sure this is what you want? What you need to do, mate, is be grateful for the customers that you've got and the life that you've created for yourself and just maintain that as best as you can. But don't stress out over it because this is not life. And you're quite right. You've had an health scare. You may die, but you are going to die one day. So what do you want to do before you die? How would you like to be known? What would you want people to say? And all this stuff, then you start thinking, well, right, yeah, I don't want to be sat here slaving in front of a screen. I do want to take a step back and be with my family for a bit. And maybe I can work towards something bigger if I put my mind to it. Because I have achieved this. And this was the goal that I set. But what about if I would have set a different goal? What is the opportunity cost? What have I lost out on because I have been pursuing this? It's not only opportunity cost in another business that you could have created. What about with your partner, with your girlfriend? Why have you had to move to Leeds on your own? Why have you had to escape the life that you already had? Now, the very important questions and what they're going to need is for me to take a couple of days to myself. Yet again. And I feel guilty doing that. And to me, that is wrong. I shouldn't feel guilty taking a couple of days to myself, and neither should you. Because your life is for yourself. And although we need to service others, first off, we need to discover who we are so we know how we can service others. So again, thanks a lot for your time. It's a Pit Village podcast. We'll be back to you next week. I'm studying the intangibles in the attention economy and how we can create a business around the stars and the fans and the inevitable attention economy that's going to rise from this world. You know, when the fiat currencies and all this and the material world that we're in at the moment is slowly going to decline. And of course, the digital age is among us. So How can you thrive in this? You need to gather attention, maintain attention, and monetize attention online. And that is what's going to separate you from other people, how well you can do that. So we'll explore that next episode. We won't actually. We'll have an interview next episode with a guy who's already operating within the attention economy. He was a street performer. He now creates videos for companies on LinkedIn using puppets. Really innovative. So he's gone from performing on the streets to having to create these videos in COVID. And of course, he's adapted and he's got a little business there that is going to continue to grow, and it's interesting stuff. So we'll have that interview out very soon, and then we'll have an episode on the attention economy and the intangibles and how you can build a business around the attention economy and how we can survive and thrive and all the good stuff as this comes to fruition, as it is already coming to fruition. Again, social media influencers, all that. Go back, listen to the last few episodes. It's been very much focused on the attention economy, and we will remain focused on attention and the attention economy. But today, we're in an attention crisis. How do you escape it? You look at the problems objectively that you've got in your life, the business, how you set up, your wider life, your health, everything. Your habits, routine, your family, what keeps you grounded. And you do that by getting some distance. Step one, we need to widen those options. We then need to reality test our assumptions. We then need to attain distance as we are deciding. Remember the 10/10/10 rule. And of course, we need to prepare to be wrong and learn from the experience. But for me, it's all about the opportunity cost. What are you missing out on because you're pursuing your one goal? And whether that's your family or whether that's another business, it doesn't really matter. There's an opportunity cost to what you're doing at the moment and where your attention is. So maybe you need an attention crisis. You need, to explode and to be all over and to have a little bit of a breakdown in order to rise from the ashes, as we do, as the phoenix does, as human beings do. We recreate ourselves constantly in order to adapt and survive. So thanks a lot for your time. Speak to you soon. As always, we are sponsored by Prospect 27, and we will be coming with a new business soon that's going to help people like yourself survive and thrive in the attention economy. All the best. Have a good day. Speak to you soon.